Well, talking about Anthony Albanese, he's been working with the top sporting codes in the country. They're going to come out in a united voice for the yes vote, of course, in the race-based referendum. Gary, do these sporting codes, and we're talking here about AFL, NRL, all the big ones, do they have any idea how divisive this issue is, and why do they want to alienate half their fans? Maybe more, maybe a little less, but why would you even want to alienate a third of your fans? It seems crazy.
But this is the corporate world. The corporate world is agreeing with themselves. They're in furious agreement that victimhood is alive and well and should be resourced in every possible way. As well, these different sporting codes all rely on government-subsidised stadiums to play their sport. They're not exactly in the back paddock in the outer suburbs of around Broadmeadows or in Parramatta or around Inala in Brisbane. They are actually in very, very hefty pieces of kit that are built by taxpayers. So they're going to follow the government line no matter what you think. And then on top of that, the corporate sponsors, it's like Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago. No one wants to be the first one to stop clapping on this claptrap. Everybody is just applauding loudly and they're looking over their shoulder and saying, well, I'm with him because he's clapping, and they're just going to keep clapping and clapping and clapping. And Rita, you're right, 100% right. Why haven't I been to a football game for about 6 or 7 years? Because I just don't think it's psychologically safe to show up at them anymore. Do I join football clubs? Yes, I do, but I must admit I'm starting to I don't quite understand why I do. I'm furious with Australian cricket. They had a win in India today, yippee. But they got this woke bloke as the captain. I'm sick to death of hearing about his views on everything. Just play cricket. Just play football. Just actually serve it up for the fans, not the politics. Fans want to watch the game. They don't want to hear all of your prophecies about how important this particular cause is or that particular cause is. And frankly, it would be great to have a round of football that was football round. Why don't they actually declare that this week is going to be football round? Just dedicated to football.
That's it. Let's have
just an idea.
A round of football dedicated to football. Fantastic. You know what? People do go to sport. Whatever their political persuasion is, they want to have an escape from the stresses of life, from whatever's happening.
Exactly.
And that's what sport provides you. You do not want to have political messaging, whatever it is, shoved down your throat. And if they care so much about being inclusive, why would they take political positions that basically tell about half the population to go get stuffed? I mean, it is not inclusive, whatever you want to call it. Now, talking about sport, basketball, great.
Coles do groceries.
Yeah, could do groceries, yes. Sky News regular Andrew Bogut, he had an interesting Twitter post this week concerning his 6-year-old son. He wrote, signing our 6-year-old, once again, 6-year-old up for soccer. Come on, Football Australia. Now, if you look at that drop-down box, the 6-year-old can identify as gender fluid. I mean, can you believe that? Now, if that's not bad enough, have a look at this reprehensible coverage from the media. The headline reads, Andrew Bogut triggered by inclusive detail on 6-year-old son's soccer registration. And then they claim that in their tweet that this issue had split the internet. I mean, that is just a ridiculous misrepresentation of a very straightforward story. And I tell you, the only one triggered seems to be whoever wrote this silly article. I mean, but why are 6-year-olds identifying as gender fluid? Why would, again, a sporting competition go down that road and just upset parents needlessly?
Again, it's just they're looking over their shoulders. Somebody's watching me. I better put this in here. There better be a drop-down box that talks about gender fluidity, whatever that is. I mean, it's like mop up in aisle 5. It leaves me cold, Rita, because, again, you know, Coles never had a sign up saying gay people can't shop here, but now they're saying that they're welcome. Well, of course they're welcome. Does anybody check their sexuality in as they're checking in their baggage at the airport and getting on a plane? I do not understand this. I do not understand. I don't care what people's personal lives are, how they want to live their lives, how they want to identify. You know what? I'm right behind them. If anybody picks on them, I'm going to stand with them against the person picking on them.
Gary, you are 100%. You're 100% right. You are not pale, male and stale.
I'm pale,
I tell you,
male and
I know
stale.
quite a few gay people, but gay men in particular, who were really not upset but annoyed by that Coles full-page ad. I mean, they found it to be fairly condescending and nonsense. Exactly. Gary Hardgrave, thank you so much for joining me tonight.